State Rep Rob Martwick coming to you from the floor of the Illinois House of Representatives with my weekly update for the week ending April 22nd, 2016. It was a busy week in Springfield, and there is a lot of good stuff that got done, but there's a lot still lacking. So quick update on some of the budget stuff. Today we passed a bill that will provide emergency funding for our state universities, allowing them to stay open and not having to close their doors. This was a bipartisan measure. It used money that was dedicated for this purpose, but it goes a long way from solving our problems. Both sides admitted during the debate that this is not a solution to our problem, only an emergency stopgap measure. And I think it really is just, we're beyond the time when we need to sit down and work out these financial problems of our state and begin to address them in earnest and stop sweeping funds to solve a problem for the moment. Nonetheless, I was happy to support that. At least we could, on an emergency basis, keep the universities open. When we return on the week of May 4th, I'm also hopeful there's a Senate bill that came over that will provide the same emergency funding for some of our social service providers, so we hope we can keep that going as well too. In the meantime, down here in Springfield, there were a few things that passed that were of interest. My bill for an elected school board for the city colleges system passed out of committee on a vote of 13-1, and when we return, I hope to have a floor vote on that bill. Additionally, during a hearing of our Appropriations Committee, we discovered that a program that some seniors in our area are taking advantage of, the Illinois Department of Revenue's Senior Citizen Property Tax Deferral Program, is not being funded by this budget impasse. Thankfully, during this hearing, I was able to expose the fact that this program is not getting funded and that senior citizens are actually at risk of losing their homes if they participate in this program. There is a bill on the governor's desk that if he signs will allow this funding to be freed up, and so I've contacted his office and I've urged him to sign that bill and use whatever authority he has to make sure that program gets running. I'll keep you up to date on the progress of that. There were some other things that passed here as well. Today we passed a constitutional amendment provision, which will be a ballot measure. Voters will be able to get to weigh in on whether or not we should keep the office of lieutenant governor or we should eliminate that. It would save approximately $1.6 million a year in funding. It's not enough to fix a $6 billion budget hole, but it's a step. We also passed a constitutional amendment that will make sure that monies that are collected on motor fuel taxes, gasoline taxes, are dedicated only to the improvement of our infrastructure and our roads and cannot be swept for other purposes. I think that's a very good government measure. We did make one attempt, again this time, to try and pass a surcharge on all income declared over $1 million. At 3.75% flat rate, Illinois is the 8th lowest income tax in the country. This would have created a 3% surcharge only on money earned in excess of $1 million, making that top rate over $1 million 6.75%. This is dramatically lower than most of the states already in our union, and our tax rate would still be exceptionally low. And it would have provided an additional $1 billion a year to help fund our schools, which, as we all know, are in bad situation right now. Unfortunately, our Republican colleagues would not join us in this measure, and without the necessary 71 votes, we were unable to get this measure passed. Back to square one. We'll have to keep working and trying to find new ways to find the revenue to close our budget hole. But as long as I'm down here, I'm committed to finding the solutions, including new revenue. I'll take the tough votes, and hopefully we'll get this thing done. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you after my next weekly session down here.